One area in Bylaw 13 that's difficult to negotiate when you're recruiting is the publicity legislation. The Division III publicity legislation is based on the idea that when you're recruiting, your institution should not treat a prospective student athlete differently than any other prospective student. For this reason, the media can't be present anytime your coaching staff makes recruiting contact with a PSA, and you're prohibited from publicizing or arranging for publicity when a prospect visits your campus. This includes evaluating prospective student athletes for the media before their official acceptance, or involving them or their coaches in broadcast activity. Social media is a major communication source in today's society, and the recruiting process is no exception. Generally, the use of social media during recruiting can be divided into three primary phases of time: the period before the PSA submits a financial deposit, the period between the time the PSA submits a financial deposit and May 1st of the prospect's senior year, and the period after May 1st when the prospect has submitted a financial deposit. Before a prospective student athlete forwards signed acceptance of the institution's offer of admission and/or makes a financial deposit, you are only allowed to send private, direct messages to the PSA or PSA's family using social media, and you can't comment publicly about him or her other than to confirm you're recruiting him or her if you are asked. This also means that you cannot friend or follow a PSA on a social media outlet during this time. After the PSA sends in his or her financial deposit, you're able to release information about the prospect's commitment. But if May 1st of the senior year hasn't yet arrived, there are still several limits. During this period, you are still prohibited from publicly communicating with the PSA or the PSA's parents or legal guardians using social media. You're also still prohibited from following, friending, retweeting, tagging, or posting to the prospective student athlete's social media page or timeline. Once prospects have submitted a financial deposit and it is on or after May 1st of their senior year, now you are able to publicly communicate with them and their families or guardians on social media without privacy restrictions. It might come as a surprise, but publicizing things in a way that wouldn't be permitted under NCAA rules, including public interaction with a prospect on social media, is often actually permissible for non-athletics institutional staff, as long as they aren't acting on behalf of athletics and the counselor is acting as he or she would do for any prospective student. This is because there is a difference between recruiting to solicit enrollment at your school and recruiting for an athletics purpose. Once prospects begin to commit to attending your school, another set of rules come into play regarding the actual commitment itself. The athletics celebratory signing form is a document that prospects you've been recruiting can use to announce their decision to attend your school. PSAs can sign this form at any point after they get accepted to your school, even if they haven't formally accepted the offer yet, but you aren't permitted to let them sign the form on your campus. In addition, no institutional staff members are permitted to be present when a prospect signs the form, regardless of where the PSA is signing, and also regardless of whether the staff member works inside or outside of athletics. However, institutional staff members may be present when a PSA signs institutional pre-enrollment forms that are signed by all prospective students in general. No one from the media is allowed except for bona fide media representatives that are employed by your institution. Finally, once a PSA sends in the official acceptance of your institution's offer of admission, then you can publicize it, but you aren't allowed to use commercial advertising to identify the prospect by using his or her name or picture. For questions or additional information, talk to your compliance administrator on campus.